Stepped away for a moment and nobody was even here to notice. Hey, Killface! Someone finally came in. Was starting to feel lonely here. Hey, Tara. Hey, Roxanne. How's my day? Meh. Did groceries, and Hey, Anunnaki. Right. Oh, he died? I saw him trending. I didn't check to see why, because I don't really follow wrestling. Like, wrestling is just, like, it's just not something that I follow anymore. What happened to dinner? I ended up ordering out. I ended up ordering St. Hubert's. Huh. Oh, only 36. That's kind of wild. Because from what I can gather, he seemed to be, like, you know, really popular, really well received with the crowds and everything, so. Yeah. Wild. I mean, you know, it's too bad for it's it's very much too bad for all the wrestling fans out there. I know there's obviously a lot of people do enjoy wrestling, so yeah, it's a shame for modern wrestling fans. And, obviously for his family and friends and everything as well, obviously. Hey, Michaela. So how's everyone? Hey, Lady MK. Hey, King Arjun. Give it a few more minutes to get a few more people in here. See if a few more people come in. Yeah, today we're gonna start the wedding DLC. We're gonna marry Cove. We're finally gonna make Cove an honest man. I did. I did check out a little bit of. I did sort of preview the stuff. It looks like it's going to be split into multiple videos. It's like this is not going to be a one video thing. It's going to be at least 2 videos. Entirely possible that may end up stretching into 3. I don't know. But it does look like this is not going to be short. Sorry. Just clicking around the gallery a little bit. Let's work coming on the sequel anyway. Just curious how things are coming along for the next game. Demo is coming in the fall. Or demo update coming. Demo is already available, the demo update is coming. Just taking a look through the the information on the upcoming one. The next game in the series. Looks like the next game is going to have 3 love interests, or at least 3 love interests. One using he/him pronouns, one using she/her, one using they/them. Oh, and actually, it looks like there's another she/her as well. Okay, yeah. So yeah, the next game in the Our Life series, Now and Forever, that one's gonna have basically 2 primary love interests. One a boy, one a girl. Oh. And the boy actually comes out as gender fluid. They, he. Neat. Anyways, Polly, I doubt it. Hey, Comic Brook, I am inclined to doubt it, but hey, we'll see. I guess. Right now, they've only got they've got a demo out. There's going to be an update to the demo of the new game coming in the fall. Looks like it's going to add like they've got the prologue, and coming up in the fall, they're going to add a moment. So very little available yet, and I think I imagine they're probably still doing a lot of work on the later parts of the story. Who knows if I will even still be streaming by the time the game comes out. And then there's the question of whether to, like, play it as it comes out or wait for all the DLC to drop before playing, or so. Who knows when I'll play it? I'm just saying, Brooke. By the time it comes out, I could be dead. Right? Hey, Jordan. Alright, 16 minutes, so let's get going. Hello again. Thank you so much for getting the Cove Wedding DLC. Because you're engaged to Cove in this playthrough, you can choose to continue your story into the wedding planning events if you'd like. And you can always make a save here and come back if you want to return to the option later on. Yes, I want to play the wedding DLC. Gonna be streamed from the Beyond? Welcome to the Cove Wedding DLC! These events are set after Step 4, but it's not specified when. It could be during that same summer, the next summer or year in the future, springtime in California, etc. I figure a year in the future. I figure the following summer. You can assume the timeline is whatever it needs to be to make sense for the choices you make to progress the relationship. Can't wait to see Cove in a wedding dress. Which initiative level would you like Cove to have for the wedding? Middle initiative. We hope you have a truly wonderful wedding. What do you think? Am I going to cry at the wedding? Is the wedding going to make me cry? What do you think? Our wedding. Side by side, on a purple-dyed faux leather couch, you sat with your fiancé, Cove. The air in the chic office smelled non-distinctly perfumed, though luckily it was a demure touch rather than smothering. A soft hum came from the air conditioning, gently flowing the scent around the room. It's honestly a pretty nice office. It was the first time either of you had been there, and you weren't sure if the atmosphere was meant to comfort or impress visitors. I'm going to go ahead and guess comfort. You need some mermaid dress? See if I can suggest it to him. But yeah, I think the atmosphere is meant to comfort visitors. It's very professional looking. And it's soft colors. It's professional looking, but it's sort of warm colors. For some people, it wouldn't make a difference either way, like with your own partner, for example. Cove's hand was intently gripping yours. You could feel him trembling, and hear the squishing noise the couch made each time he shifted around. One part came from his usual nervousness over these kinds of matters, and the other came from an almost uncontainable excitement for the same reason. This place was the headquarters of a well-known event planning agency in the area, and this office belonged to their planner for a very particular type of special occasion. Weddings! You were here to plan your wedding together. Going to the chapel and we're gonna get married. Mermaid cut dress seems purposeful. Get out. Giggle bashfully and shed one giant sparkly anime tear. Soon he wouldn't be only your fiancé. Cove would be your husband. And I will be his bae. I will be his spouse. And on that occasion, there was going to be a ceremony, reception, and everything. Like them daddy jokes. I mean, yeah, sometimes. Some of them can be pretty good. Anyway, you felt truly content. It was a joy to be with him, and you could only feel good about celebrating that love with family and friends. Today's meeting should be straightforward. Introducing yourselves to the planning team, getting familiar with one another, and going over only some basics. The entire process would take multiple visits here and trips to other locations. Before setting up the appointment with a planner, you and Cove decided that you were going to set the wedding in, or at least near, Sunset Bird. You also had a good idea of who would be attending, how large the wedding needed to be, and a few other details related to your lives together going forward. That was as far as you had gotten in the process when you decided to bring in assistance. The beach is a stage. Shall we dance? Reported and blocked. I swear, one of these days, I'm gonna start timing people out for egregiously bad jokes. You know, like, at some point, I might start, like, dishing out timeouts for, like, the worst jokes. Anyway, you were thankful you had a professional to do this with. Cove noticed the dreaminess in your eyes, and the corners of his mouth lifted hopefully. His second hand reached over to clasp both yours and his first. A metallic sensation pressed into your skin, the engagement ring securely on his left ring finger. Your feet shuffled against the black and white striped rug that covered over the center of the hardwood floor as you returned to smile back. Here we are. Here we are. Surely you can't be serious? It's really happening. His fingers squeezed your hand deeper into his hold. You know I'm not really good with, well, any of this, but I'm sure that whatever it ends up being like, it's going to be amazing. It has to be, because I'm marrying you. Oh! Shut the fuck up. Shut up, you dork. Shut up, nerd. Anyway, I completely agree. It was such a kind sentiment, but it was the truth for both of you. And then there was a series of quick knocks. Your conversation stopped as you shared unsure looks between one another.
Huh?
Come in? In response to Cove's words, the shiny wood door off to the side swung open. Hello, lovebirds. Standing in the entryway was a tall man about your age. His dark gray hair was swept to the side, and on his neck was a distinctive mole. His curved grin and brown eyes grew wide in sync.
Hallelujah.
Love would have been a lie if you two dolls had broken up. Look who it is! It's our old buddy Baxter! Wearing something other than black and white. Can we really be sure it's him and not twin brother or something? Sun's out, pun's out. But it's 20 past 8. The sun's not out anymore. Also it actually rained today. It was raining today. So, sun's not out where I am, Jordan. Emo. Hey, honey bunny. Cove stared while frozen in place, a deer in the headlights. His mouth opened, then closed again soundlessly. Baxter has your son's haircut? I don't know. It's a pretty cool haircut. Baxter? The former tourist stepped further into the room while chuckling.
That's wonderful.
I'm flattered you two people of excellence remember me, too. Sydney with a chance of resting beach face. And I didn't even have to dress in black and white. His style choices might have changed, but you realize now the design of the rug might not have been an entirely arbitrary choice. It was exciting to see it was really him. This was an incredible, unexpected reunion. It's been a while. Years.
I know.
Yeah, it has been. Cove dropped his response heavily. The tone likely would have been even firmer if he wasn't still in disbelief that Baxter had reappeared in front of both of you. And as a wedding planner of all things. Baxter, this is a wedding. Your wedding planner. What happened? Do you have an explanation for it? Well, as professionally as possible, Baxter strode to the other half of the room and took a seat in the rolling office chair opposite the couch you were on. He used the tips of his feet to smoothly twist the chair's position so that it faced you completely as he continued the reply. I went back to college, eventually graduated, joined the great wide career world, grew up, and learned some more. I'm still learning. To fully settle in, Baxter dropped an elbow on the armrest of his seat and rested his cheek against the propped-up fist. That's the curated version. Life is a wonderful journey. The words were spoken flatly, inauthentically, and punctuated with a dismissive gesture of his free hand. It was impossible to tell if the sarcasm was purely in response to Cove's own sharpness, or if there was something else. Even Cove raised an eyebrow at how clear the displeasure was. Baxter was aware of the impression he was giving, but only half shrugged with one shoulder over it. His eyes drifted away from you and your partner. Whatever the story was, you definitely weren't getting the full version of it. I missed you. A bend formed in his brows, a small sign of regret. So did I.
Now?
That's my introduction taken care of, then. Let's swing things back around to the real reason you came. He was transparently moving away from the topic of your past as quickly as possible. He could only handle this as a professional providing a service. You're getting married. Congratulations. You were given an enthusiastic round of applause from the audience of one. We got engaged kind of a while back when there was a lot going on with our lives. Baxter slipped a pen out of his jacket pocket and tapped it against the desk counter at his side. He looked between you and Cove, satisfied. Considering we're already acquainted, it should make the process that much better. I'm sure your special day is going to be one to remember. Cove's uneasy single word was directed towards you. In a whisper, he elaborated on what that was supposed to mean. Are we really going through with this? Having Baxter plan our wedding? I'd like you to. Cove quietly yelped. It wasn't unreasonable that the person on the other side of the room could hear the conversation, but Cove had not expected him to answer. I think I could do it well. I can do it right. And there's very few weddings I'd like to see go off like a charm than this one. He spoke in a conciliatory way. Baxter's normal boldness was entirely missing while asking for this chance. You and Cove faced one another on the couch. The softness in his eyes and the sloping of his brows shared his thoughts without him needing to say a word. He was being swayed. You nodded to your partner. There was a pause, and then Cove spoke. Okay. You don't trust him? He's trustworthy. The only issue is whether he's going to just immediately run away again, like abandon us as soon as the wedding's over. We'll be spending time with him, maybe reminiscing over old memories and becoming friends again, and then as soon as the wedding's over, okay, bye, never see you, never. What if this DLC suddenly turned into a horror game? Like, hey, alright, good to see you again. Call me if you need an anniversary or something like that planned. Otherwise I'll stay out of your lives for the rest of time. Baxter sabotages the wedding. While still on the couch, Cove brought his torso up to its full height and held his head high. The look in his face was determined. Since this is actually the reality that exists now, I've got a question for you, Baxter. Yeah. Yes? Cove's strong stance began to crumble as he shrunk into himself once more. Is your offer for dance lessons still open? Your new planner gasped before quickly settling into laughter with a clap of his hands. Of course, always. That's a relief. I'm probably gonna need them.
I'm here if you need me.
I understand completely. I'm here for you. And you as well, Jamie, if there's a need. You were a good dancer, but it would be nice to practice with someone. Yeah, I'd like that. Got it. That works for me. Now, He shifted closer in the rolling chair with a glint in his eyes that made him look like the teen he used to be. Let's roll up our sleeves and get into the details, which I don't mean literally. No need to crumple my jacket. But I am going to have to ask you quite a few questions.
All right.
I'm ready. So am I. To start, have we thought of possible surnames? Yours, his, what are you imagining? I don't care. I just want to marry them. But we have actually talked about it. Yeah, we're going with... Hi, Nancy. Who are you saying... Who's the him, not them in reference to, Nancy? Because again, the character that I am playing, the protagonist, the character that I am playing, is non-binary and uses they, them pronouns. And hi, Nancy. Cove is, obviously, guy. He is man, he, him. You're drunk? Fair enough. Both of us keeping our own last names. Jamie last and Cove Holden. Good to know. Nothing wrong with that. And what about titles in the wedding? Bride, groom? It can be whichever you like, honestly. Can I be a groom? He's so excited about being a groom.
Of course.
Of course. It's your day. Can I be called neither? I don't see why not. Jamie and their groom for the couple of the wedding. Hey, Braden. Baxter flipped open a notebook set on the desk. Can I get an idea of scale? Only an estimate. It doesn't have to be a complete guest list, and even if it was, you never know how many of those invites will accept the RSVPs. Don't stress too much over who is going to be in attendance.
Oh.
Cove stepped off the cloud nine he had been hovering on since the start of the conversation and planted himself back firmly on the purple couch in Baxter's office. For sure there's going to be our parents, 4 of them, and Jamie's sister and their uncle, aunt, and cousin. Some grandparents should be there, but not all of them. We'll have our friends, Miranda, Terry, and Derek. You're still friends with Miranda and Terry? That is wonderful. Yeah. That's right. But also, I was wondering if we can invite Leon and Jeremy. Who's Leon? I'm not sure who Leon is. Cove snorted, covering his mouth to resist a full laugh. We can try, but I kind of don't think they'll show up. Baxter's eye shifted from your face to Cove's and back again. It was sharp. He was trying to read the room. Co-workers of yours?
No.
The mirth Cove had rapidly turned into more of a nervous chuckle. He'd momentarily forgotten it wasn't just a conversation between you and him. Leon is someone we've known since we were kids. It's just, he's not exactly reliable. He's always done what he feels like and doesn't do anything else. I'm wondering if Leon is actually Shiloh. If Shiloh's just going by Leon now. It's the only thing I can think of that makes sense. It's the only other person they've known since they were kids. So I don't know if I didn't get far enough in to see if Leon is in fact Shiloh. Would be my guess. It's just that, used to be Shiloh, now he calls himself Leon, and they've made the change. I think Jamie likes him more than I do. I don't hate him or wouldn't let him come to our wedding, though. I want to do it for Liz. You know she still has a soft spot for him. Yeah, it has to be Shiloh. Alright. And Jeremy? Cove didn't resist laughing with his whole heart that time. We met him as teens, barely. We were like 13 and he was a little younger. He was horrible, mean and angry and unreasonable. But thanks to Leon of all people, we met him again years later. It turns out Jeremy's okay now. More bristly than hostile. Shiloh was so weird. He was kind of a weird kid. I got kind of attached, even though we're not friends, because Jeremy is the kind of guy who won't describe anyone as a friend. Except for Prawn. You ended Cove's explanation with him and had matching smiles with him to boot. Having to attend would make him annoyed, and that's the goal. That kind of friendship is weirdly endearing. Like, that's a weirdly enjoyable friendship. Friendship style. Jeremy is great. He is such a grumpy little bastard, and I love that. Can you tell that Oscar the Grouch was always one of my favorite Sesame Street Muppets? Favorite Sesame Street characters? I always loved Oscar the Grouch. I love the grouchy characters. I love the lovably curmudgeonly type. The people just snark a lot. You've got some interesting relationships. I'll put it down. We can certainly send invitations when the time comes. It'll be up to them to decide what to do with the offer. Who else? You and Cove continued to come up with family members, friends, professional relations, and the like to make an estimated size of the wedding. All the while, Baxter jotted down the information like an attentive student sitting at the front of the class. And of those who you most want and expect to be there, would any of them make up wedding parties, or is everyone a normal guest?
Right.
So?
Let's have a wedding party. We were thinking of having a wedding party. Right, we hadn't picked exactly who'd be in it yet, but we are having wedding parties.
Certainly.
Of course. Let's discuss who's with who now, then. It can be an equal split between the both of you, but it's not a rule. If one of you has a bigger wedding party than the other, it's completely fine. It's all about the two of you, so you can do as you please. Tepidly, Cove offered his first thoughts on the matter. I don't know, maybe it's embarrassing or even sort of dumb, but as great as my friends are, the person I'd want to be there as my best man is my dad. Yeah, we can offer him $20 to do it. Hey, Elver. Oh, happy birthday, Elver. 21, old enough to drink in the U.S. Old enough to rent a car now. Woo! Don't do both at the same time. Yeah, happy birthday, Elver Galarga. So I was just having to think that your name to make sure it doesn't sound like anything. Make sure it doesn't sound like anything bad. Yeah, happy birthday, Elver Galarga. Yeah, we can offer him $20 to do it. Perfect. That'll work for sure. Having that close of a relationship with your father is a beautiful thing.
What do you think?
Jamie, do you know who will be the lead of your wedding party? And the title isn't important. Best man, best woman, or best person. Maid, man, or individual of honor. It's all fine. My sister, Liz. As my... Yeah, sure. Maid of honor. Actually, no. Fuck that. Best woman. Yeah. Best woman. Second best person. Or third best person. But the best woman. Very well. Anyone else in the parties? Well, I'm good with whichever friends and family being in my party, but I'd kind of want the size of things to be sort of close. Everybody would probably be in Jamie's party if there wasn't more of a split. So if that's okay, there'd probably be 3 or 4 in the parties at most. Aw, but I wanted to have everyone else in my party. Jamie, come on. I've got to have something. Fine, fine. For your own party, you chose Pamela, obviously. Lee. I kind of like the idea of us, like, of our parties each having, of, like, swapping moms for the wedding party. There's something about that idea that I find kind of cute. Am I wrong? Hey, J-Dot. Am I wrong? Would that not be kind of a... Would that not be kind of cute and fun? Is it just me? What's going on? We're planning our wedding to Cove. I suppose it makes more sense. My ma, Noelani, and my mother-in-law, Kira. And I'd use wedding attendants for the title. Then my party is going to be Terry, Miranda, and Derek. What about your mom? You don't want your own mom in your party? Oh, whoops. I actually clicked on... Here. Anyway. My ma, Noelani. My cousin Lee. Did I already... Yeah, my mom, Pamela, my ma, Noelani, and my cousin Lee. And actually, I feel like Derek was more my friend than Cove's. So my friend Derek. And I'd use wedding attendants for the title. Then my party is going to be Kira, Terry, and Miranda. And with that, you successfully mapped out the members of your wedding parties. Perfect. I'll make notes. The statement was made extra clear by the clicking noise of Baxter keenly tapping his pen on the armrest.
So?
On the topic of guests and that sort, are you open to attendees giving speeches during the reception? We can make it so only select people are arranged to say some words about the couple, or have a mic open for anyone interested in taking it, or discreetly circumvent anyone from gathering the attention in order to talk. I'd be fine with anyone making a toast or giving a speech if they want.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that too. People are going to tease us whether it's in a speech or not. Good. He continued along casually, accepting all your input. And are you thinking of writing anything yourselves? For custom vows? Just remember, it's an option, not an obligation. There's no pressure to make a custom declaration if you're not comfortable with it. Oh. I want to let Cove decide what he felt up for. I think I want to write my own vows. I'm going to be nervous either way, and there's a lot I could say. Then that's what we'll do. Cove's eyes squinted up from his cheeks as he smiled at you so sweetly. You were feeling butterflies already, and the vows hadn't even been said.
Lovely.
Lovely. Just lovely. And that is highly personal, so you each can work on them privately, outside of our appointments. Baxter relaxed back into his chair and looked you both over. His smile curved widely. It was a look that made Cove nervous. You could feel him begin to fidget uncomfortably at your side. Let's talk a little more about traditions and wedding norms.
To be honest,
We're all friends here, so I'll be frank. If one of you sincerely asks not to get splattered with cake, or for whatever else, and the other does exactly the opposite simply because they think it's funny, I will personally see to it that your marriage ends. Good. That's fair. If you can't treat your partner and their boundaries with respect on your own wedding day, you don't deserve them as your spouse. Now, I sincerely doubt that's going to be a problem with you two, but it's an occupational hazard.
in that case,
With that said, do you have any requests for pertaining to either the ceremony or the reception? We can arrange for anything special that you do want included. I'd like to do a proper cake cutting with Cove, without all the mess.
Sure.
Yeah, we can do that. Why is my chat not keeping up on... MG! Holy shit, MG! I'm working late tonight, and but I appreciate you streaming. I will be listening in the background. Have a great night, me and chat. Hearts in the chat for MG. Thank you very much, MG. Thank you so much for that. Where's everybody? People are here. People are being weirdly quiet right now. Also, I always look at chat on my phone while I'm doing this, but for some reason, chat isn't keeping up. There it is. For some reason, my chat wasn't updating on my phone. Super busy, I can't talk much about it, but it involves a woman who is 6 months pregnant and her crazy ex-boyfriend she has a restraining order against, so it's very overwhelming. The baby is okay. Oof. That is rough, MG. That, I'll be honest, I would struggle to deal with that kind of situation. That's the kind of thing I'd have a hard time with. But yeah, I hope that goes well. Cove crossed his arms with a prudent nod. The longer he chewed on that idea, the more his lips tugged into a bent smile. And that means we can focus on what's important. Eating cake. I mean, really, isn't that the whole point of a wedding, is to have the cake? Very well. Baxter clapped his hands together, pleased with the direction of the conversation. That's another important detail done. We should discuss who you'd like to officiate the ceremony next.
I can do that.
I can arrange for a standard justice of the peace to be there, but if there's a pastor, minister, rabbi, judge, or anyone else that you have in mind, please send me their contact information. Preferably right away. I can work things out with them, so we're all set for the ceremony. Unsure of what to say, Cove glanced over at you. He scratched his cheek contemplatively. I don't mind having a justice of the peace officiating. You hate cake? Oh. Want a fruit tart or something the day I get married? Eh. Fair enough. Fair enough. I hate pie, so I can't... I don't like pie, so I can't judge you for not liking cake. And, frankly, there's only a couple of kinds of cake that I like, so... Yeah, I don't mind having a justice of the peace officiating.
Right.
Me neither. He shrugged, glancing over at you to make sure. A simple justice of the peace was all you needed. Birthday's coming up next month? Yeah, it's September... Yeah, which day was it, J-Dot? I know you've mentioned it before, but my memory sucks. so, so I keep forgetting. So you'll probably need to remind me a couple more times. Be 36 this year. Wonderful. I'll get that in motion right away. 35 more days. So 30th? September 30th? Or 29th? 28th? 29th? September 29th? Yeah, you'll need to remind me a couple more days. A couple more times. You'll need to remind me like a week beforehand. If you can remind me like a week beforehand, I should be able to remember it. Should.
Very well.
Now, have either of you considered how you want to arrive down to the ceremony? Will one come in first and then the other come down the aisle? Or perhaps you both want to enter together? '28th. 28th, okay. Oh, what are you thinking, Cove? He closed his mouth, thinking over the question. His eyebrows pinched together as he imagined the various possibilities. Would you want to do it together? I would. I'd love that. That was kind of what I was thinking too, was together.
Yeah.
Great. Cool. Exhaling his tension away, Cove closed his eyes. A weak laugh rattled through him. I think I can handle that distance without my legs giving out from under me. Especially if we're doing it together. I believe in you. Cove tried to suppress it, but he couldn't help but giggle at your firm confidence in him, despite the truth you were both painfully aware of. Sighing, you watched him collect himself with an adoring smile. I do mean it. I know you're going to try, and who knows, you might trip. Or I might trip. But that's not really what matters. You're right, and I believe in you. I always will. I will too. Cove's face was a shade pinker from the conversation, but he was pleased with what you both settled on. You were too. That sounds lovely. Baxter clicked his pen before dropping his attention to his paperwork. He glanced back up, giving you his full attention.
Does that sound all right?
Oh, and are you intending to exchange wedding bands? It is possible to skip that. Yeah, we've got rings.
Of course.
Of course, we can easily save a moment for that in your ceremony. And a small reminder, couples generally take off engagement rings before the ceremony to wear just the wedding band during the wedding. Thanks. You couldn't help picturing the matching wedding bands you had gotten together. They were... I feel like rose gold. Dandy is missing. I know! I haven't seen Dandy in months. Somebody should organize a search party for Dandy. Anyway, what's everyone thinking for color for the wedding bands? I'm leaning towards rose gold myself, but gold, rose gold, silver, platinum, or black. Like my soul. Black is a little bit too goth for Cove, I figure. Silver does feel kind of an oceany color a little bit, maybe? You love white gold? Black. Yeah, white gold is not an option, unfortunately. If I'm honest, like, as sort of like... Hi, Sirkin. Matching cock rings. Yep. Nothing more romantic than matching cock rings. Kind of ring. Is it a band? Yes, it's a band. It's a meteorite ring. The black with blue would be so pretty. It's just a wedding band. So like it's not like it's we've already had engagement rings. It is just a wedding band. Meteorite ring. Doesn't seem like that's an option, unfortunately. Which would be like the most oceany color? I suppose silver or platinum would probably be like the most oceany color of the bunch. Yeah. Alright, go with rose gold. And... I guess you can get a jewel band. But... just a round band. They were incredible. But before you completely lost focus, Baxter spoke again.
So?
Do either of you want to have a bouquet? A small chuckle fell from Cove's lopsided grin, but Baxter was serious and waited attentively. When Cove realized that, he shrugged. I like flowers, but I don't need a whole bouquet. I mean, why not? Don't be shy. You should have one, Cove. Seriously? The word punched out of him in a stuttering laugh. The longer you held him under your stare, the more Cove's eyes widened in surprise, and his cheeks quickly burned a deep red. You more than like flowers, and it's your wedding. It's all right to indulge for the day. He scratched the back of his neck awkwardly. You could tell that his resolve was crumbling. I guess I could have one. Ha ha ha! Excellent. Let's talk about what it'll look like then. Would you mind if it had white poppies? No, it needs those. Since the instant Baxter brought up flowers, you had been positive Cove was going to ask for those. Are there any others that you'd want highlighted? I like how Baxter just came in and started running everything. I mean, it's literally his job, Honey Bunny. That is literally his job here, is to run this. Anyway, question. Are there any flowers that go particularly well with white poppies? Would there be any particular flower that would, like, really go well with white poppies? My own inclination is just the poppies. Yeah, like my own, like that's sort of what I'm leaning towards myself, is just the white poppies. But you don't know your flowers? Yeah. Apparently poppies are actually a fairly popular choice for weddings. does seem like they do pair well with a lot of other flowers. So yeah, the white poppies should be the only focal point. Those are Cove's flowers. White poppies it is then. They'll be gorgeous. With that decided, Baxter picked his pen up again and took note of your specifications. He subtly nodded as he wrote. Well, since you're having that, this means that you have the option of a bouquet tossed during the reception. Huh. That kind of sounds fun. What do you think, Jamie? Definitely. We've got to do it. Cove's grin curled excitedly. Baxter's gaze lifted from his notes. Marvelous. Gotta hit it. Alright. Well, thanks for stopping in, MG. Yep. Always glad when you're able to stop in, MG. So. And not just for the super chats. But thank you very much again for the super chat. And, yeah, like I said, thank you for stopping in at least. I hope your night goes a little bit, smoother. I hope your night, improves. From having to deal with abusive boyfriend. Having to, protect a woman from an abusive boyfriend, so... yeah, have a nice night. That's about all of the basics sorted out, but we still have time to talk about the ceremony itself. There's vows, but from there you can personalize it with more rituals and such. If there's any particular tradition that you'd like to have, you're welcome to let me know.
Don't worry about it.
I don't have things I need. I'm not very traditional. I just want it to be whatever Jamie hopes for.
Charming.
Jamie? Again, lots of different options depending on what kind of background, what kind of faith and stuff that you want your character to have. Half of these I don't even know what they're for. Obviously, I know this is a Jewish thing. This is just a generic one. The rest, I don't know. Like, jumping the broom, I don't know where that's from. Blanket ceremony, no idea. Sand pouring ritual, no idea. Garland exchange, hand fasting ritual, I have no idea. No idea what any of these... what any of them are related to. I could look it up. Not gonna. I just want to keep the ceremony simple. Everyone gathered together, that's all I really need. Of course. It'll be straightforward, but still lovingly refined. Content with your wishes, Cove nodded agreeingly. Very well, so that's the ceremony. Now, any reception venue you choose will be large enough to have room for casual dancing throughout the evening, but I need to know if we should schedule for any particular kinds of dance. Such as a first date between only you and Cove at the start, for example. Both of you turned to each other curiously. A deep red blush crept across his cheeks, and when he felt overwhelmed, Cove's gaze dropped to the floor. Well, only if you're good with it. I would want to have a first dance. I want to have a first dance with you too. Cove perked up at your answer. Despite still being nervous, he gave an eager shimmy in his seat. You beamed, overjoyed with the idea of your first dance together as a married couple. I have no idea what the money dance is. Anyway, it would be sweet if we had songs where we dance with each other's parents. I do like that idea. A part of you could already imagine your mom's delight taking turns twirling Cove around to the dance floor, but that wasn't your only reason for suggesting it. You'd love to have a special moment with Cove's parents yourself. Special moment with Mommy and Daddy. Aw, yeah. It was significant that they both welcomed you with open arms. They'd been kind, stable figures for so much of your life now. You wanted to honor that. A rosy blush dusted his cheeks a deeper pink. A parent dance, that'd be great, actually. Then it's settled. Baxter continued to keep track of details by jotting it down on paper. He kept up with the pace of the conversation with words and writing easily. Oh, and speaking of the ceremony and reception, that's my area of expertise. If you're going on a honeymoon afterwards, that'll be something I'd recommend perhaps a travel agent for. Or, honestly, arranging between only you two without any middleman. Cove didn't blink at the caveat.
Sure.
We'll handle that. While we're here, it's just about the day of. I get it. Fantastic. Now, back to the wedding. Do you have a sense of style you're aiming for? Is it formal, casual? Do you have a particular color you want the wedding party to wear? Are the clothes for the couple meant to be a surprise for the ceremony? Or would you prefer picking that out together? I'm not sure. And also, what about hair? I can brush my hair out so it could be fancier. Though if that's not important, I can keep it the same. Good question. What do you think, Jamie? You considered the series of inquiries and responded by saying, in between formal and casual. What? Yeah, that's what I figured. Or honestly, maybe just a casual feel. Make it a gosh darn party. We could do something in between formal and casual. Yeah, cool. And I'd be happy if the main color was blue. I don't know. Doesn't matter to me what the wedding party wears. Me neither. Everyone can pick themselves. Also, I'd love to surprise you with my outfit during the wedding. That'd be nice. You were sure Cove would look great no matter what he picked. And Cove, I think your normal hairstyle is perfect. Okay, I'll keep it just like this. Excellent work. I know this has all been a lot of Q&A. There's much to consider for this big of an event. Then Baxter's pen was placed back into the pocket it had come from. He ran his now free hand along the smooth inside edges of his jacket.
Thank you.
Thank you two for being so forthcoming. I've got a strong idea of where this is going now. I'm already looking forward to the next meeting when we can truly get into specificities. Damn, I just said that without a stumble. I'll be honest, specificities is not an easy word to say. Specificities. And yet apparently I can just, yeah. I'm actually surprised at how easily I say that word. Because it's not an easy word, right? It's just like, it's a really quick series of SFS sounds. Like, it's just really quick the way it goes from, like, S to F to S. I mean, most people would say specifics. You know? Because specifics is easy. Specificities? There is something awkward about that word.
Oh?
That's everything? We're leaving? Yes, you can go. Or you can stay if you want. That's the end of the actual session, but I'm not throwing you out. That's alright. Bye. Cove awkwardly waved Baxter off, despite still being seated and not going anywhere yet. He had gotten so into the discussion of the wedding he'd forgotten his usual stiffness around Baxter for a time. But that spell broke. Baxter accepted the answer and pushed off the armrest of his chair to stand up straight. You and Cove followed his motion, getting up out of your own seats together. The wedding planner took one stride closer to the center of the room and reached out his hand towards you. You opened your arms for a hug. He smirked, letting you wrap yourself around him. He patted your back rather than giving you a complete hug himself, but he liked your version of a farewell interaction just fine. I've missed the dude. You know, I had to give the guy a hug. I've missed the dude, so I had to give him a hug. This is a bad joke. It's great that you're Baxter.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Apparently making a joke and he's just like, bye. Well, fine then. Yeah. It's great that you're Baxter. He snorted loudly, highly entertained.
Goodbye.
Goodbye for today, Jamie. I'm glad to have seen you. Then he offered the same gesture to Cove. Your partner accepted it casually, giving Baxter's hand a solid shake. Take care, Baxter. Thanks, and same to you. You've got a wedding to be ready for. Don't forget to look out for yourself and your fiancé. I'll remember. The two men released the other's hand, settling the agreement to take this chance and put a new foot forward in their relationship. With that, the two of you found your way out of the office building. The pop and subsequent click from the opening and closing of car doors played out in sync between you and Cove. As he buckled in for the ride back, Cove commented on the experience. The sentence was hesitant and had an upward bend that made it sound like a question.
So...
That went well? Before you could respond to the not exactly a question statement, Cove continued on with a new actual question. I mean, we got Baxter Ward as our planner somehow, but he seems good at what he does, right? He put his hands on the wheel and peeked at you through the reflection in the overhead mirror. As long as he's grown out of hitting on both of us, it should be fine. Nothing wrong with a polycule is all I'm saying.
You're right.
Yeah, definitely. Cove had pulled out of the parking lot as he spoke. The wheels rumbled easily down the newly developed city streets of the area. But that was the end of Cove's attempt at conversation making. He went entirely quiet. The pensive look on his face didn't allow you to relax into a normal, comfortable silence. Cove? Are you okay? His mood easily lifted back up at the sound of his name. Forgetting all the Baxter stuff, I'm just really happy we're doing this. Sometimes I still can't believe we're together. We're engaged. And soon we're gonna be married. It's incredible. And it never stops feeling like that. I don't think I'll ever be used to it. Not really. I love you.
I love you.
Aww. His cheeks squished at his eyes from the size of his grin. Nothing could stop him from looking forward to the upcoming occasion. Finally, the lack of words felt right between the two of you. You took the chance to let the day sink in as best you could. After all the years you'd known Cove, you now were going to have a wedding with him. The scenery slipped by faster than your eyes could keep up with as you got further and further into your own thoughts. Then, suddenly, the day had ended, and you were drifting off to sleep in Cove's arms. It was early afternoon when you stepped outside, breathing in the good weather. The gentle breeze warmed your skin while you waited for Cove. He wasn't far behind, but there was still a serene moment to watch the puffy white clouds move across the sky. You were grateful for that, because the second you both hopped into Cove's car, your brain was filled to the brim with wedding planning once again. Before you could progress any further, you needed to cross one of the most important details off the list, officially putting the wedding party together. This was the goal for today. Despite the nervous energy fluttering in your stomach, you were already anticipating the stops and phone calls planned. Peeking over at Cove, you hoped he was too.
Are you okay?
Are you doing alright, Jamie? I have high hopes for today, and that's scary, but otherwise I'm okay. What about you? Cove turned away while his eyebrows pinched together. His grip on the steering wheel tightened briefly before he made himself relax the stiffness in his pose. Tense, but good. Better than good, really. I'm excited. Me too. Every time you imagine the conversations you'd have today, they all boiled down to the same feeling. Joy. The people you picked were all important figures in your lives, and you just couldn't wait to see how they'd take the news. Cove nodded and added a happy hum in response. And with that, you were on the road home. Naturally, Cove navigated the car towards the old neighborhood. It was soothing, winding down the familiar paths of your childhood. You spent so many years expanding your world little by little on foot, and then by car. The older you grew, the further you went. But there was always a place back there for you. Cove parked along the upper end of the street. Side by side, you headed out, aiming for his dad's condo. Your first visit for the day. Cove wanted to ask his father to be his best man, and you'd be there for him. Cove's newly outstretched hand was halfway to the doorknob when he paused uncharacteristically. Actually, I'm gonna knock. I think he'll just be happy to see you no matter what. The warmth intensified in Cove's expression. Jenna! Minus a few zeros high. Thank you, Jenna! There's still a couple zeros in there, Jenna. Thank you very much. And hi, glad you're still watching, Jenna. Glad you're here. Oh yeah, you weren't here earlier. I forgot this is just you. This is you just coming in, I think, isn't it? But hello, Jenna. Welcome. Maybe now she'll pick up in this chat. Anyway, you missed a whole lot of wedding planning with Baxter. Baxter is our wedding planner. Missed a whole lot of talking about wedding plans. Luckily, there's still a lot of planning to do. Haven't picked out a venue for the wedding. Haven't picked out a venue for the reception. There's the cake to plan. Food to plan. Lots of stuff actually left to plan. I'll be honest, weddings seem like they might be kind of a pain in the ass. Just, they do seem like they might be a colossal pain in the ass. The warmth intensified in Cove's expression. His hand changed direction and he gave the door 2 firm knocks. It didn't take Mr. Holm long to enter the door. His initial shock quickly melted into a cheery grin.
Come on.
Hey! Come in, come in! His attention bounced back and forth between you and Cove as he moved aside to let you stroll on in. Hey, Dad, how are you?
Great.
I'm great, sport! Cool. Well, Cove stalled, bashfully staring down at his feet and rubbing the back of his neck. You knew just how important this was to him. He took a deep breath and didn't wilt under his dad's growing concern.
So
So, Jamie and I were talking about the wedding, and I realized that I needed to ask you something. I'm all ears, son. Whatever you need, I'm your guy. Cove swallowed nervously and nodded. Then the corners of his mouth started to perk up. I was wondering if you might be alright being my best man in the wedding party. Mr. Holden slammed a hand to his chest, clutching his heart. He waited for any kind of sign of life. A part of you wasn't even sure if he was breathing until he finally gasped in a lungful of air.
Are you sure?
Cove, you don't have to do that. Hey, Color Purple. Cove's brows bent up, but his delicate smile grew wider. Nobody is forcing me. This is what I want.
That's...
Dad, you've always supported me. Through the good and the bad, for my whole life, you've taken care of me. Just getting a little bit more comfortable. His expression was earnest as he stepped forward. Your chest swelled with pride, listening to Cove's honest plea. Why would I want somebody else to be my best man? You are the best man, Cove's dad. Completely touched, Mr. Holden grasped his son by the shoulders, and then wrapped him in a hug. Cove embraced him just as tightly, and rested a cheek on his dad. There's nothing in this world that would stop me from being there for my boy.
Thanks.
Thanks, Dad. Sniffling, Cove's voice came out softly and laden with emotion. With teary eyes, Cliff invitingly reached an arm out to you. Yeah, I'll join them. I'll join the hug. He's my dad, too. That's why I call him Daddy. That simple invitation instantly had your vision clouded with tears. The Holdens felt like family to you, and right now it really settled in how much all of you were now, without question, family. Inching forward, you let yourself be pulled into their loving embrace. You clung onto them both. Finally, Cliff pulled back, letting his shaking form settle again. Well, I'm sure you're both busy, so I won't keep you. Mr. Holden crossed his arms. Despite the misty eyes, he beamed, taking in the sight of you and Cove. But I really appreciate you both coming by, and I'm around if either of you ever need anything. Thanks. And yeah, we need to invite the rest of the wedding party before we see the wedding planner later. You were our very first stop today. Mr. Holden managed to brighten even more hearing that. Cove shyly nodded and rubbed his arm.
Nice work.
Very good. You're being so responsible. I won't hold you up on your way. Thanks. Again. I guess we're on to the next stop? You glanced over at Cove. He nodded surely, and you felt the calming surge of confidence. Have fun spreading the good news. We will. Bye, Dad. See you soon. The sun was warm on your skin as you left Mr. Holden's house. Stretching your arms overhead, you pivoted to Cove, feeling refreshed. Ready?
Come on.
Yep, let's go. You moved your attention to your mom's place right in front of you both. You pointed at the house. We're already here. Stepping up to the condo, you rang the doorbell and waited. The longer you stood there, the stranger you felt. Because this still felt like your own door. The expression on your face pinched together oddly, but it was short-lived as your ma swung the door open and validated your thoughts. Hello! Oh, sweeties, welcome home. She eagerly ushered you both inside towards the living room. Ma then went over to the hall and cupped a hand to the side of her mouth to be heard in the other room. Pam! Come see our guests! Mom curiously peeked out the bedroom door. When she realized who it was, she beamed and gave you a little wave. Hey, kiddos! Hi. Hi, I missed you both. Your mom's expression softened. Mom joined you all in the living room, standing alongside Ma.
How are you?
What can we do for you today? We've been working on some wedding preparations, and we were hoping to include you in that.
Oh?
I wonder what that could mean. Ma raised an amused eyebrow and then turned to Mom. Shyly, Cove glanced at you, wordlessly asking for you to take the lead here. Mom and Ma, would either of you want to be a part of our wedding? Cove and I were hoping that Mom would be a wedding attendant, and Ma would also be a wedding attendant for me.
Of course.
Ma excitedly looked from you to Mom, and then back again. She was thrilled. If you want me as a wedding attendant, then I will be. All I want is to be there for my wonderful child's very special day. Mom stepped forward and put her hands on her hips. She beamed proudly. You bet, Jamie. Whatever you need, because out of all my kids, you're tied for first place. That's cute. I like that one. Hanging your head, you buried your face in your hands. Mom chortled, extremely pleased with her own joke. Teasing aside, Jamie, you've made me very happy. A small, relieved sigh took away the remaining worries twisting in your gut. That went even better than you thought it would. A silly, sweet grin spread ear to ear on Mom as she swayed gently where she stood. She peeked at Ma.
Nice.
I can't believe it. I'm in the same party as Nolani. That's so exciting. Noelani. Man, forgot that that's her name. Oh, hello, miss. It's so nice to see you here. How long have you been at this lovely party? It's good that they still flirt with each other. Ma placed a hand over her heart as she spoke. They both had pink cheeks from laughter, pretending they're hanging out together at an actual event. Everything was so much sweeter knowing that your moms were thoroughly enjoying this. Spying on Cove out of the corner of your eye, you caught the fondness he exuded watching you in return. He seemed just as pleased with your mom's reactions.
In that case?
Okay, well, we'll let the two of you go about with the rest of your planning. Thank you so much for surprising us with this. Ma brushed back her hair, observing you both affectionately. Mom nodded in agreement. You've got a lot to do, but I'm sure you'll be able to hack it. Oh, we will. Just prepare yourselves for the best wedding you've ever seen. We're waiting for it, right, Lonnie? Yes, we're expecting nothing but great things. Thanks, you two. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate it so much. The tips of Cove's ears were red, but he did his best to be unruffled under your mom's stares. He nodded with a warm smile. Bye. Goodbye. See you around. After that, your moms walked you to the door. You and Cove stepped out into the neighborhood, ready to tackle the next task on your to-do list. With one last glance around the neighborhood, you silently said goodbye. There was so much more to do today, and that would require hitting the road again. Huddling to yourself, you watched Cove bring the car towards the city. Your next visit would be a meet-up with Terry and Miranda in their neck of the woods. You couldn't wait. You did tell them in advance that the wedding planning was bringing you and Cove out that way, so your friends were expecting you today. But as far as you knew, they didn't have any idea what you were prepared to ask. Pulling into the parking lot across the street, Cove was in high spirits. He eagerly hopped out of the car, and you caught up to him with light steps. You weren't that far away from the car when you heard familiar, friendly shouts nearby. You spotted Terry and Miranda running along the brick path to meet you and Cove halfway.
Hey, buddies.
It's so good to see you! Hey, long time no see. You and Cove hurried over to meet up with them. He waved widely. Hey, thanks for coming down. Jamie and I have something to talk to you about, and it's really nice to be able to do it in person. Neither of them dared to interrupt, but Terry and Miranda did share a silent look. They both seemed eager to know the details. They both have weirdly evil expressions. Terry, could you be a groomsman in my wedding party?
Finally.
Yes, I made the cut! Thrilled, he threw a satisfied fist in the air. Terry's grin stretched ear to ear. I think that's a good sign. We did a good job deciding the parties. Teasingly, you continue to scrutinize your friends and Terry crosses arms defensively. I'm a groomsman and you can't take it back. It's set in stone.
I mean,
We could take it back. No! Cove snickered, leaning towards you. And then Cove's attention moved to Randy. You watched her eagerly in anticipation. Miranda, it'd be great if you could be a groomswoman in my party. Her eyes darted from Cove to you to Terry and then back to Cove again before she believed that this was all actually happening.
Thanks.
Yeah, I accept! Thank you so much, that would be wonderful. Terry cheered again, pulling Miranda in for a one-armed side hug. Cove put a hand to his chest and let a small sigh of relief. Go Team Cove!
Yeah.
Yeah, Team Cove forever!
hey!
Jamie's party is just as good. I am marrying Jamie, remember? We like them. I think we're all one big team. Yeah, exactly. A warm blush rose in your cheeks at the sincerity in Cove's voice. Terry and Miranda turned to each other and smirked. Team Jamie and Cove's wedding forever. Terry put his hands on his hips and nodded sagely.
Agreed.
That's the truth, Randy. Seriously, thanks for this.
Yep.
Yeah, it's super nice to include us in the wedding parties. Of course. We couldn't imagine the wedding any other way. Thanks for meeting up with us today. It's nothing, but you'll probably have to get going now, huh? Yeah, we have a meeting with the wedding planner pretty soon. And I still have to ask the Baxman. With a curt shake of the head, Cove rolled his eyes, completely unamused. Miranda's brow furrowed. Wait, I thought you were joking when you mentioned that. Is he really planning your wedding? He is. Wow. Oh, wow.
Preposterous.
I remember when we were all here watching free-range fireworks, and now you two are getting married and Baxter's the one planning it. Preposterous. It's definitely something. But that's what we're doing, and we're gonna go do it now. Cove awkwardly rubbed his arm. Understanding, Terry gave a thumbs up. Safe travels. Bye, have fun. Thanks again. We'll see you both soon. Terry and Miranda remained on the walkway while you and Cove returned to the car. When you were alone again, you spoke up. That was good. Yeah. He wasn't facing you, but you could still admire the happy curve of his lips. It was nice to visit with your friends for a little while, and it was even better to have another thing set for the big day. With a determined stare, Cove pulled his phone out and plugged Baxter's office into the GPS map. I still haven't asked Liz. I still haven't asked my sister to be my best woman. Once it was all set, he put the car in drive and you were both on your way once more. While Cove drove, you pulled your phone out and scrolled through your contacts list. The rest of this task would have to be done long distance, so you turned the speaker up and made the call. Dialing up your big sister, you set the phone to speaker. You were already expecting the inevitable jokes she'd have up her non-sleeves.